Hey, what's up? Dave with Brazos Valley Strength. And today I wanted to take a really quick look at who might benefit from wearing a belt on bench press and really what benefits there could be at all. So I think that there's going to be a whole lot of overlap within populations on who can benefit from wearing a belt on bench press, and all of the populations within my soft versus sinking touch video, essentially saying that bigger lifters and more close grip benchers are probably gonna get a whole lot more out of wearing a belt on bench press. So we'll take a quick look at that. So I think the first thing to do here would just be to think about what wearing a belt on bench press might conceptually do at all. And I think sometimes people think about maybe it like protecting their back or kind of adding to the brace, and I really don't think it's going to do either one of those things whatsoever. So just from a brief bracing perspective here and framing it within the bench press, for us to really brace into the belt, most coaches, good coaches, we'll encourage you to go more towards a rib cage down position. And the big thing there, the big reason that we're doing that is neutrality within the back, but also we can create a really good ability to actually expand into the belt and increase pressure inside of our trunk. If we're not in that neutral position, which we're not going to be when we're bench pressing, we're always going to be in a much more extended, a much more arched position. We just don't have the ability to actually expand into the belt. So we're not really adding a lot of pressure within our trunk from bracing by adding the belt here on bench press. And as I said in my leg drive video, leg drive is really gonna be the brace on bench press and not really putting a belt on. But that's not me saying that there's no benefits at all. I do think that sometimes bigger lifters and lifters that sink the bar can actually get some degree of increased pressure, because when the bar actually sinks into people's chests, that space, that body mass does have to go somewhere. And if we put that belt on, we can probably increase some of the pressure inside of the trunk and potentially get a little bit more pop off the chest. Now, there definitely are some drawbacks here. I think for most lifters, putting on a belt, especially these bigger belts, you know, a 13mm lever belt or something like that, that most of us wear for powerlifting these days, it's almost always going to interfere with somebody's ability to arch. If not just physically getting in the way, it definitely can make things uncomfortable and just feel less practical to get into that position. So if we're really not feeling a good benefit from the belt being on ourselves, it could actually end up reducing our arch, increasing our range of motion without really a whole lot of benefit. So I don't think that there's a ton of value there for most people, but I think if you are a bigger lifter with a little bit more sink, you may actually end up getting some pop off your chest. Or if you're somebody who just doesn't really arch much at all, I think that there may be some value in just feeling a little extra kind of tightness, a little extra security, kind of just feeling a little bit more secure within the whole system. Sometimes that makes people feel pretty good. So I think that's probably the main thing that we need to say here with who might benefit from wearing a belt on bench press, is that if you're a bigger lifter, if you're somebody who sinks the bar, there might be some value. If you're a little bit of a smaller lifter, if you're somebody who has a really big arch, I think that most of the time, these things are probably gonna get in the way and really just not going to add much value at all. But maybe the best thing here would be an Instagram commenter saying, it just looks really cool. So if that's what you're going for, then I think that there's maybe, it might be worth a shot. But otherwise, I think most of the time people should probably steer clear of wearing a belt on bench press, as it probably just doesn't add that much. So hopefully you enjoyed this really short video. I'll try to include a little bit more of these kind of within the longer form videos. But if you did like this one, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.